So let's discuss arrays. So what is an array? So till now we have seen variables for storing the data, right? So in the arrays, you can store multiple objects or multiple elements of same kind of data. Same kind of data you can store, but multiple elements you can store at a time. So that's the advantage of array concept. But variable, you can store only single value. You cannot store multiple values in the variable. Basically, when you can go for arrays, when you want to store multiple elements, similar kind of data type elements with a fixed size, then you can go for the array. Then you can go for the array concept. So we see this definition also. Array is a container object that holds a fixed number of values of single data type. Single data type elements you can store all. So, but mixed you cannot store. If you want to store mix of elements in the array, you have to take that data type as an object. The objects you can store in the mixed type. But so primitive data type if you want to store, or so any other single data type if you want to store, and you have to use that data type only. Okay, so the length of array is the size of your array. How many you're going to store? You have to tell very clearly in advance. Okay, I want to create 10 elements in this array, or I want to create 5 elements in this array. So you have to fix the size and length. That's the length of your array. So to create an array in Java, you must first use these points. Keep these points in mind. Declare a variable to hold the array. You have to declare a variable to hold the array first, and then create a new array object on the right hand side and assign it to the array variable. Assign it to the array variable. So that's what the array concept. So then store whatever the information you want to store, whatever the values you want to store, you can store it. So that's the array concept. So any questions here? What is array and how array storing the values? Are we good? Okay. Now, if you see here, array works based on the index. Okay, array works based on the index. A collection of elements or values, each identified by an array, index, or key. Each identified by an array or index, so or key. So that's the, so each element. So these values can be any value, but this is the fixed. First element will be always in the 0 index. First element will be always which index? 0 index. First element will be always in the 0 index. And second element will be in the first index. Third element will be in the 2 index. Third element means 2. Fourth element means 3 index number. Fifth element means 4. Are you observing? Element, fifth element, but the index number is always less than the element, right? Are you observing that? First element means the index is 0. Second element means the index is 1. Third element means the index is 2. Fourth element means the index is 3. Fifth element means the index is 4. Now this one is a which element? Last element. But eighth element, 7 index. Seventh element, 6th index. Sixth element, 5 index. So the index number is always going to be less than the number of the element position. First element means 0 index always. So always first element will be in the 0 index. Always first element will be in the 0 index. So that's the first element thing. And index starts with a 0. Index, so that your first element starts with a 0 index. So index random access is, so you can access anywhere because of this random access possible because of this indexing only. And see that this is how you will create. For example, if you want to store names of 100 people, then your array size is 100. You have to tell in the square brackets. So array symbol is a square bracket. If you write in the square bracket, that's a symbol of array. That's a symbol of array. String, square bracket, array equal to new string, square bracket. So this one, 100. This is the 100. So names you can store in this array name. This is the array name. So that means here the syntax is data type, square bracket, array variable equal to new, so data type, square bracket, array value, array size. So that's the array size you are going to, so keep it. Then the above array cannot store more than 100 names because you are fixing here size. Only 100 you can store it there. So the number of values in Java array is always fixed. Okay, so make sure the size is fixed. When you're creating array, you have to fix the size. So what are the advantages of the array? Code optimization. Code optimization means, because you don't need to declare multiple variables, right? You can store all values in one array. You can bundle them, all of them. So it makes code optimized. We can retrieve or sort the data very efficiently with this array concept. Mostly in the, in your so interviews also, you will get array programs or string programs. These two only. Next, random access. So we can get any data located at an index position. You can get any data randomly, you can pick. So that's the random access is possible because it works based on the index. That's why it is possible. Disadvantage is the size limit. Once you declare the size, you cannot change it, a fixed size. So it won't grow at runtime. You cannot increase the size at runtime. That's not possible with the array concept. So if you want to solve this size limit, you have to use the collection framework, so which is a dynamic, but array is a static data structure. So array, collections, these are the data structures. So array is a static data structure. Static means it doesn't change. And collection is a dynamic data structure. You're not going to specify the size there. You can store how many you want. You can remove how many you want. So that means the size, it grows and, collapses. So that's the, you can increase the size, you can decrease the size. So whatever you want, you can do with the collections. So if it is a dynamic, so you are going to use collections only, not an array. If it is a static, you know how many elements, then you go for array. So that's all about so advantages, disadvantages, how to declare array variable. See that this is the syntax. Data type, square bracket, array name. So data type, it can be a primitive data type or non-primitive data type, right? It can be a bit. So this array name is an identifier. Identifier means just a name you are giving. Identifier is nothing but a name you are giving for this array. So then how to assign a value for this is another way. So this is another double square brackets data. So data is the array variable. that holds the value of type double. So int array list is the array name. String fruits is the array name. Rectangle boxes. How many elements can array hold? Right. So it's all so to define the number of elements that an array can hold is we have to allocate memory for our array. So basically you have to assign this one new double 10. So you can allocate the memory now. So that this memory name is you are referring with a data array name. First you declared array variable. So all these points are important. Declaring array variable and then assigning a value to array variable. New double 10. Here are, so array can store 10 elements. We can also say that the size or length of the array is 10 here. Because here the size. So double data equal to new double. And creating an array object is this the simple examples I'm giving. Data type, square bracket, array name equal to new data type size. And data type, array name, so new data type size. So data type, array name, square bracket, new data type, and you can place the elements directly here also. But here we are only specifying the memory with for these many elements, but we are not assigning a value. Later you need to assign a value for this array. See here, just list new integer 10. That means 10 elements the memory will create for this. Fruits new string 5. That means 5 fruits you can store in this array. So boxes, new rectangle 4. That means 4 boxes you can store. Int marks equal to new int 5. That means 5 marks you can store 5 boxes like this. So first element, this is the 0 index. See how I am accessing time also you have to use a square bracket inside the index number you write. So square bracket inside you write the index number. So then square bracket inside index number 1. So square bracket inside index number, the third element, fourth element, fifth element. So this is how you can create a memory with the 5 things. So these are all indexes, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 indexes. So but how to initialize an array? So you can initialize an array directly like this. So double square bracket prices equal to, see, this is the initialization. Directly you can give a values also. So initialization you can do assigning these values to this array. So any question?
No, sir.
Okay, yeah, take care, everyone. No problem. You can drop. So integer array is equal to this is the another so initialization of array. So you are assigning these values to this. Directly you can assign like this also. So instead of creating this way and then assigning values that you can store that like this also. This is another way to store the elements directly. See this, how to assign a value. Okay, you created an array object, but how to assign a value? So this one. So this is the array name, right? Array name of 0, square bracket of 0 equal to 12. Array name of 1 equal to 4. Array name of 2 equal to 5. So this is the how you can assign a value to this array, is array. See that is of 0 means the 12 is stored here. So that means 12, how can you access? Array name of 0. So 4, array name of 1, array name of 2, array name of 3, array name of 4.